Hi, I'm Steven. This is my Dralnu Lich Lord deck. Alright, so this is my Dralnu Lich Lord deck. Dralnu is kind of a gamble as a general. He's blue-black, so it's going to be heavy control. It's kind of the old standard deck he used to run in. You're going to counter out and card advantage and mainly combo finish. But he's got a pretty big drawback. If he's dealt damage, you're going to sacrifice that many permanents instead. So be very careful, especially with those red decks. They can blow you out. So mana base for Dralnu, a bunch of islands. Runs 38 land overall, which is pretty typical. And then a few swamps. Alright, so here's the non-basic lands, starting with Underground Sea and Watery Grave. You really want to hit all your colors. It's important to have the dual lands. Creeping Tar Pit, of course, turns into a land or creature. Sunken Ruins. Here's one of our Mirage. Fetch. Bad River. Tolaria West transmutes. Grabs any other land and a few spells you can get out of there. And Dimir Aqueduct is land-based land acceleration. Riptide Laboratory, mainly there for Vencers, a few other wizards you can return with it. And Soldevi Excavations. You have a second island when it comes into play, but it gives you the ability to scry off the top of your deck, so that's pretty beneficial. Urborg, of course. Minamo, great with Dralnu, also Arcanus. And Reliquary Tower, you want to have no limit to your hand. Thawing Glaciers. Crackland. They're storage lands. They're pretty crucial. You can store up for the big spells and blow away. Blue storage. Cephalid Coliseum. Threshold lets you sack it and draw 3 cards, discard 3, which is great. Putting the cards in the yard for Dralnu. And then a few cycling lands. Alright, so since Dralnu gives all your instants and sorceries the ability to have flashback, go over all the spells he's mainly going to be grabbing with them. That's a lot of just card advantage, counter spells, classic control removal, recoil, bounce and discard. Bounce is a great way of getting rid of all those odd and end cards that are just difficult to deal with. An old Boomerang. Evacuation, great for creature wipe. So Ancestral Vision's in it for card draw. You can also tutor it up with Tolaria West. And Twin Cast, always good things to copy. Like Rite of Replication. This is a pretty powerful splashy spell in EDH. Teachings. Often used to grab Terefi, who can then flash out Dralnu and start the whole control. Mischiefs, great to change targets of spells. A lot of redirection. Memory Plunder, using your opponent's spells. Profane, usually used as removal and recursion. And Beacon, another great recursion, gives you anyone's graveyard, artifact, or creature. There's Time Stretch. If you can resolve Time Stretch, you're usually going to win the game. It'll give you 2 turns to play out Dralnu and flashback it, and giving you another 2 turns to set up some kind of win. Here's some of our removal, Damnation, Rend Flesh, I can take care of most things. Consuming Vapors, great with Dralnu. It's great to flashback because it comes back. Stone for everything. And the Create Pain, great EDH card, loads your hand up all the time. And Barter in Blood, Edict Effect, strong. Here's some of the counterspell creatures. Some of the Irritai, he's kind of just a recurring counterspell on a stick. And Draining Whelk flashes in to counter it. Cryptic Command, of course. A lot of these will draw you cards. Remand. Pact is our free counter spell. It's good to have that as a backup. Usually I'll tutor that to back up the combo I'm trying to shoot off. Desertion is great. Counter and grab their guy. Rewind. Counter spell. Again, scrying and drawing cards. You always want to be kind of grinding out the advantage and drop Dralnu and then sense it up. And then Decree of Silence is a good protection spell. You can play it out, counters the next 3 spells they play. So this is a good time. Drop Dralnu. You can also cycle it when you need to. And then there's Hinder. This counters a spell to the top or bottom of a library. It's almost always going to the bottom. A real good way to hide a general. But then one of our Cannonball combos, it combos with Tunnel Vision. You would name the card you just put on the bottom of their deck, and then being an EDH deck, they're going to have no other copies of it. It'll flip over the whole deck except for that bottom card. One thing you have to be careful with is Eldrazi and some of the other incarnations shuffle themselves back in. Eldrazi are the big one because they bring the whole library or the whole graveyard back into the library. But that's a really hard combo to stop. It's both 2 spells, and it comes on the back of a counter spell. So here's our second more powerful combo, mainly based around Arcanist the Omnipotent. He'll tap and let you draw 3 cards. You also have the ability to bounce back to your hand. But with all that tap draw card action, you're going to abuse it with Mind Over Matter. Discarding one of those 3 cards lets you untap Arcanist. You could tap him again to draw 3 cards. Discard one of those, untap him again. This pretty much lets you draw your whole deck. But then any permanent you have, you can tap, untap. So that pretty much lets you use any of your lands, which lets you turn all your spells on. So you can do pretty much anything you want at that point. You should be able to defeat all players and own the game. There's Terefi. Again, use him to flash out Dralnu. A good way of keeping him safe. And Consecrated Sphinx. Pretty new, but very powerful with multiple opponents. And Dread, he's one of our defensive creatures. A lot of defense in the deck, but keeps him from hitting you. And his incarnation helps here with Arcanist. And then Maul Drifter, some of our base creatures. There's Venser, bounces a permanent. And Cloudskate also bounces permanents when they come into play, which is a very good way of dealing with a lot of things. You put them back in their hand and then counter when they try to play back out. Cut Purse, if you can get them out there and bounce some of their blockers and get in a few times, you can often just turn the advantage too much. And here's Guilt Feeder. He's an 0/4 with Fear, and whenever he attacks and is not blocked, they lose life for each card in their graveyard. So he Cannonball combos real well. You can either late game just play it out and beat in, or Traumatize, flip over half their deck and swing once, take somebody out. And there's our Mojin of Night's Reach. Great black discard, discards the hand of all of your opponents, so. And Mind Twist, I'll pretty much shoot one person's hand down. And there's Sadistic Sacrament. Powerful to just play early, break up a combo piece, get rid of the Eldrazi in their deck so you can hinder them, and then Tunnel Vision. Or if you kick it out, you could pretty much just cripple them and leave them with nothing powerful. If you flashback it and kick it twice, pretty much puts anybody under. And Friction Arena, steady card draw. And then there's Jace. He's a fabulous finisher. You can just keep Fate Sealing and blow their deck away. The Invest, almost always going to be using her tutor ability for the first turn or two to set up that combo. Tutoring is real strong in EDH, so we got our tutor package here, Vampiric Tutor. It's on top. Demonic Tutor, taking it straight to the hand. And a little less played one, Insidious Dreams. Has additional cost of discarding cards, but you can search up any number of cards you discard. So with this one you can grab the combo and the counter backup. It's great just to finish. Lightning Greaves, good to protect Dralnu and give him haste right off the bat. And then a few of our Mana Accelerators, Talisman of Dominance, Dimir Signet, Coalition Relic, Go to Lotus is also one of the cards you're probably going to be playing with Mind Over Matter. After you draw those bunch of cards, go to Lotus is the one you want to play out, and every card you discard gives you 3 mana. So that really makes it a quick and easy way to just do anything you want once you get that combo online, or just the Mind Over Matter by itself. Pretty good. Realtor Lanterns, the other way to get the Tunnel Vision to go off, if that Hinder doesn't land or if they shuffle their library afterwards, you can just put a card on the bottom. Also, it's some kind of light graveyard disruption, Genesis or whatever they have in their yard. And Tormod's Crypt, another graveyard disruption. It's good to shoot someone's yard out of there. And Propaganda, another defensive card. And then lay down a Sanctity. Let you play anything instant speed, which is just all around what you want to do with this kind of deck. Thanks for watching CMDR Decks. Please subscribe and favorite.